Do you know why you haven't fulfilled your purpose yet? It's because of the rules you keep following. Hi, I'm Tasha Skillen, and I help people-pleasing perfectionists redesign their life to become the original, brilliant self they were born to be, fulfill their purpose, create deeper relationships, and have more joy in their daily lives without any guilt. The biggest problem most people are making is they have adopted this standardized vision of life. What I mean by that is that in the Industrial Revolution, things that used to be tailored to an individual became standardized. And in a lot of ways, that was really beneficial for a lot of us. We didn't all have to have our own farms. We didn't have to all have our own tailors to craft our clothing. And there are a lot of benefits to standardized living, and we're reaping them by sitting in the seats we're all sitting in right now. The problem with that is that we've also adopted this standardized version of following the rules for our lives, and that doesn't work. Following the same rules that everyone else is following for choosing the life that you're living is going to give you the same results as everybody else. And if you look around, not everybody's crushing it. And so how do you go from following the rules and living a standard life that's average, mediocre, to really shining and fulfilling your dreams, answering your purpose, and having a meaningful impact? It comes from breaking down the rules. Identifying the rules that you have adopted over the course of your lifetime as a way of survival or a way of acceptance have also held you back from fulfilling your purpose. Rules and Rebellion was created based on the idea that when we follow rules, arbitrary rules that don't apply to who we actually want to become, we forego fulfilling the purpose that we were put on this planet to fulfill. And when we do that repeatedly, we end up looking back and regretting time lost, opportunities lost, and moments of disconnection with the people we care about and the meaningful purpose that we were put here to have. How do you know if you're following the rules? Well, if you wake up every day and do the same thing you've been doing for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, because that's what you've always done, or you decide not to do the thing that you feel calling you, that crazy idea about writing a book, or idea about the business that you could start, or the nonprofit you want to launch, or you have dreams of speaking on stages across the country or around the world. Those are the things that you are being called to do. They keep coming up and you keep shoving them back down because of the what ifs. Because what if this person thinks I'm crazy? What if my husband thinks that I'm being selfish? What if this takes away from my kids' experiences? What if I can't be a good mom? What if my parents get upset because this doesn't match the values that they raised me with? What if my friends think I'm ridiculous because I want to do this thing? We have a lot of these what ifs, and it's all revolving around what other people think and the rules that other people have about what it is to be a good mom, to be a good wife, to be a good person, to be a good whatever your spirituality is, to be a good this or a good that. Those are all based on rules that don't necessarily align with who you are meant to be. And to be fair, the rules were often put in place to help you survive. The rules and the mindset about money and how rich people are greedy or scary or manipulative, and how people in poverty are better people simply because they don't have enough money. Or if you don't have enough money, you have to get enough things to show people that you're good, that you are a good person because poor people are bad. There's all kinds of really screwed up mixed messages that we have that we learn about money, about health, about what it is to be a good person, about what it is to be a good parent or a good wife. And this is important differentiation to make between who you actually know you're supposed to be and the person that you've been told that you need to be accepted, to be validated and loved. And this difference will be the difference between you looking back on your life when you're hopefully 90, 95, 100 years old and being proud and excited and thrilled that you had all of those life experiences, or looking back and wishing that you had stopped listening to everyone else who was also living a standardized mediocre life and chose to stay in that position. So you have the opportunity now to start looking at the rules that you're following. What are the things that you're doing that are just because it's what's expected of you? There are tons of them. And once you start digging into these things and you start asking yourself these questions, you're going to see that there are rules everywhere that you're following that hold you back from fulfilling that purpose, that make you second guess that thing that you've been thinking about doing for maybe a couple weeks, couple months, couple years. I'll get to that when the kids move out. I'll get to that when my husband's business isn't so busy. I'll get to that when we have more time, when the kids' extracurricular activities aren't so crazy. I'll get to that when the holidays are over. I'll get to that when the summer's over. We keep putting off these other things because we believe that if we pursue those ideas, those dreams that we have that kind of bubble up when we're not expecting it. We are not fulfilling the roles that we have in other parts of our life. And that is based on the rules that we've decided what is a good mom or a bad mom, or a good wife or a bad wife. And these are rules oftentimes that we have adopted because of what other people have said about other people in our lives, what our parents have shown us in their relationships growing up, other caregivers, and the examples that we have constantly flooding our consumption in social media and regular media. And so it requires you to get curious about how you learn to do the things you're doing. And this is an important thing to apply across the board. So when you're looking at your health practices, why is it that you do or don't do the things you do or don't do for your health? What does it mean for you to be a good mom? When you look at someone who is parenting and you decide, oh, that's the wrong thing to do or that's the right thing to do, according to who? How are you making that judgment for them and for yourself? Getting curious about those rules that you have about how you live your life, about the relationships that you have, about the way you approach different areas of your life, about the way you engage in different scenarios and situations, that will give you some insight into the rules that you have about that part of your life. And then you can start just deconstructing it. Is this really how I feel? Is this really what I want? Is this really the life that I want to look back and see that I lived? And if that is not the case, then you can start making shifts. Then you can start transitioning from where you were, believing and following rules that were handed down to you, maybe for generations, that are arbitrary, that were built and designed in an era that doesn't apply to where you want your life to be. And you can change the legacy of these broken rules, of these arbitrary rules that have been passed down. And then you can shift and show your kids what it is to leave a legacy that you're proud of, to fulfill your purpose, to align your day-to-day actions with the person that you want to become. You don't want to change everything all at once because it's not easy to keep up with, but you do want to start getting curious about how you can start making the transformation from the person who is just following the rules to make sure that everyone else around them is happy, to the person who is inspiring everyone else around them because they're not following the rules and they're rebelling on purpose. So that is what I hope you do today. I hope that you go forward, start questioning why you do the things you do, and keep joining us here for more Rules and Rebellion conversations about creating purpose in your life and fulfilling that calling and having a meaningful impact. Don't forget to hit subscribe, tap the bell so you're the first to know the next time a video drops, and don't forget to comment below with any questions or aha moments you have from today's video.